Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. It's Monday night. We've gone a little bit earlier tonight, 7:15, because England are playing at 7:45 against Germany. If you want to go and watch that, if you want to go and watch more, anybody else think Gareth Southgate is exactly like Brendan Rodgers at the moment? We'll talk about that in a little bit. We've got Dave, Blue Van Man, joining us very, very shortly. So we'll be getting all his views on everything Leicester City. We will be getting another Dave in later who's running the London Marathon. Big Leicester fan, wants to hear from you about what's going on. It's your show. It's Monday night. Brendan Rodgers is still here, and we want to know what you think about that. We will get all your views and all your comments on screen in the next 30 minutes.
Welcome to Leicester Fan TV. Are you ready for the show? Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everard's, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie and Co-Estate Agents. We want your views, we want your comments, so join us live. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, loads to talk about. The build-up for Forest starts right here, right now, in 24 times 7, whatever that is, 7 nights sleep, whatever you want to say. We will be playing Forest. I've been looking forward to it since they got promoted. I'm absolutely dreading it at the moment. We want to know what your views are on Leicester City against Forest next Monday. Please like, share, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV. But as ever, we want your comments. That's what this show is all about. Ivan says, let Rodgers still be there. Ivan, you might be in the minority, I think, saying that, but very interesting. Liam, good evening. Karen, hope you're well. Andy says, I can't believe he's still got a job. I am surprised as well, Andy. I'll give you that as well. Patrick saying Watford don't muck about. They've sacked their manager again today. Ben says how he's still in the job is a bit of a piss take. Top's one interested in racehorses. More interested, I think he's saying, than the club needs to sell up. Or Ben really going in there hard. Richie goes straight in with a Rodgers out. I like this tonight. Nobody tonight saying, good evening, Phil. How are we? Have you had a pleasant weekend? No, it's just like, Phil, get Rodgers out, as if I can do anything about it. Although Brad's there. Hello, hope you're well. LCFC Gray says international break won't change anything. I'm going to ask Dave, Blue Van Man, as you guys know him. The first question I'm going to ask him when he joins us is, should we have got rid of Rodgers by now? Should use this break? I think that's my big question to them. Andy says we can't lose to Forest again. Andy, I'd love to say you're right with that, but I am absolutely dreading it. Listen, Dave has clicked in. Here he is. Let's get Blue Van Man in. Dave, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. I've got the shirt on inside out. Right? Because I think we could be a club in crisis.
Yeah.
So,
I think we are, Dave, aren't we? I mean, I don't want to overhype it, so I'm interested to get your views on it.
I did a video on it the other day on the state of that we're in.
Yeah, it was a great video. Make sure you go and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And there's a couple of I've done the reasons why he's still here and the reason why he's Sid. Hello, Sid. The reasons why he's still here and why he hasn't gone yet. The reasons why I think he's still here is because we've got that new so-called defensive or tactical coach. And I think they might actually try to see if they can work together and see if it does work. Obviously, the bloke's only just turned up, so it might be a bit harsh to sack him without giving him a chance. Because when all's said and done, you're going to have to find a new manager. You're going to have to get rid of Rodgers. You're going to have to pay him a fortune. He'll take his staff. A new bloke will come in, replace everybody. It's going to cost a fortune. Now, the other thing is, I just can't believe he's still here because he's rubbish.
So I like that. On the one hand, Dave is saying, and we want to get your views on it. Blue Van Man Dave saying, I'll give him a chance. I mean, this tactics guy, Dave, we knew this time last year.
Well, yeah, and this is what I don't understand. I mean, he's a coach for America as well, isn't he? So come Christmas, when they're all going off to that wonderful place of
Qatar,
sand and oil, right? He's going to be there with the American team and not working with our team. So,
Do you know, Dave? I didn't know that. Is that right? Is he? Is he going to go off with the American team?
Yeah, apparently something to do with the American team as well. He's a very highly thought of coach, but it's just too late, really. I think myself now, and the other thing as well is that King Power have lost a fortune during COVID. You know, everybody was following the so-called science, shutting everything down, and like King Power's lost a fortune. Although they have got money, they haven't made any money, and I don't think Top's going to invest it in. I don't think we'll go bust. I don't think we'll end up like we were, but I don't know. It's such a tough one, and it's when we do it, when we sit here and talk about it, right? We just go, that's it. You'll shut the link off, and that'll be it. Although we all care and stuff and all that, but Top has got to run the club. He has got to make the right decisions, and he's got to be so sure when he's doing this. We've all had faith, we've all had trust in him for the past God knows how many years. And I think he's going to have a couple of more games, and then Top's got to make his mind up. And he's got to do it before, I don't know, give him till the end of October, and that's it, done, gone.
I think that's one of the questions I'm going to come to you, Dave, with very shortly is, should we have made it now? But you're saying October.
I'm only saying
LCFC
October.
great.
I'm only saying October because of this new coach. You don't know. They might have worked their arses off over the last couple of weeks, got things sorted and making plans.
But Dave, listen, I hear what you're saying, and I know we've all been saying get this set piece guy in. But do you know what, Dave? I've got to be honest with you. If you were paid £10 million a year as one of the top managers in the country, shouldn't you know how to set up set pieces?
Agree.
I'm not being funny. If I was a manager of somewhere and I said, "Oh, I know, pay me the big money because I know what I'm doing." Oh, by the way, can I hire in another guy to do set pieces because I can't really do them?
It's like a politician hiring somebody in to come and help them run the chancellor or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is a big question for you, and I'm just going to put it back up on screen. I think it was Andy said, has Rodgers lost the dressing room?
I think he's lost it, definitely. Do you know what? I want Rodgers gone, and I'm trying to look at this from Top's point of view. I'm trying to not defend him, but like give a reason for why he hasn't gone yet. But I know somebody who's at the training ground, and they're saying it's a miserable place to be at this moment in time. It really is. So if you've lost the dressing room, you've lost everything, ain't you? You've got no respect. It makes you wonder if people are turning up late. And is he? I mean, there's the other thing: is he actually playing to get the sack? Is he playing? And if you don't want to be there, and if he's playing to get the sack, then that's gross misconduct of his contract. So
you'd never prove that, though, Dave, would you?
No, you can't, can you? I don't know. I don't know. 1 point out of 7 games is pretty much proof that he doesn't want to be there.
I mean, Liam Woodford says, if we lose to Forest at home, then surely Rodgers will be gone. Part of my thinking is why, if we were going to sack Rodgers, we should have done it at the start of the international break and get a manager in for 2. Because if we lose to Forest, Dave, at home, which I'm not got lots of confidence, but if we lose to Forest, where does Rodgers go from there?
Is it down to the lake or something? I don't know, mate. I mean, who's going to want him as well?
He's already made his excuses, Dave. He's clearly in the media blamed the board for not backing him. He's blamed the players for not being good enough. He's blamed the fans for not cheering loud enough.
Well, the thing is, that team, and I've said this on my video, that team is better than 1 point in 7 games. I don't care if we haven't brought anybody in or not. That team is better than 1 point. His tactics have been abysmal. And the first game of the season, when he didn't put any subs on the hottest day of the year as such, and it's been a hot year, and he didn't put any subs on, it was just ridiculous. And
I mean, that's part of the thing, Dave. That is part of the issue. His tactics are strange. Iheanacho, I mean, we lost 5-2 at Brighton, but Iheanacho and Daka played okay from their points of view in that game. Iheanacho, I think, scored one, set one up, and then was dropped for the next game.
And this is it. I just don't understand his thinking. I mean, I'm trying to defend Top. I'm trying to, because we all love him, don't we? When all said and done, him and his dad, what they did, we all love him. But there's got to become a line now. There's got to be an exit plan. Either, you know what I mean? It's just heartbreaking.
It is tough, Dave. Chris says here, most Sunday team coaches could show you how to defend better than City have. Doesn't need to be a so-called expert. It's not rocket science, some of it at all. Again, what the Spurs match, some of the goals we let in there were just schoolboy stuff, Dave.
It is, and this is the pro. But there again, it looks like they don't have a plan A. Never mind a plan B. There's just no shape. I've got better shape than them, and I'm a 23 stone fat bloke. I've been playing badminton today. I'm in better shape than them.
Kiefer says, thanks. Kiefer messaged me and he says, think Evans and Vardy know Rodgers has to go there. It's been a strange old one. Just without picking on players, Dave, Danny Ward in goal. I think we ran a poll before the Spurs game and 93% of fans said, I think Danny Ward needs to be dropped. In the international break, it made us chuckle because Leicester City's official Twitter feed was tweeting us to tell us that Danny Ward had made the bench for Wales, whereas Forest reserve team keeper, who can't get in their team, was their first choice. And it's like, why Leicester tweeting about this? It's nothing.
I don't know.
One thing does Rodgers have to make a big decision and put his balls on the line and say, "Oh, sorry, Danny Ward, you dropped, mate."
Sorry, Danny, you crap. But the one thing that worries me now, this is what I'll put to all you Leicester fans, right? I'm Mad Vans, who's just M-Dubs, who's just seen me. Do we lose to Forest, right, and get him the sack, or do we beat Forest? Everybody think, oh, it's all great, we're okay, we're going to get going again, and then lose the next 3 games. Do we say, show our cards and get rid of him after the Forest game and get beat? Or there's your question, folks.
Well, there we go. Dave's asked you, would you, I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty honest question if you want to answer it, isn't it? It's like, would you you're almost saying, Dave, do you want a fans prepared to take the defeat, knowing that it would get Rodgers a sack, and then we can move forward? So I guess
what I'm saying.
Answer,
Do you
Dave.
Want the kick in the nuts? Do you want a kick in the nuts to get it all going again?
Mick says he totally agrees. Ben Morgan says yes, he would do that. Dipak says here, the bigger problem isn't the manager. Since Ranieri, the front office has consistently failed. Rodgers doesn't negotiate contracts. When a marquee manager has zero to spend, it's pretty obvious what's really wrong, because this is what will happen. As ever, thanks, Dipak, for your comments. Andy's just saying we can't lose to Forest. Keith is saying, please, no, I hate Forest. We need to beat them. Brad Norman says yes, he would take you on there. And LCFC Gray says, can't lose to Forest. It's like committing suicide. Dave, listen, you're North Leicestershire like I am. So you probably know some Forest fans and Derby fans, because there is more up this neck of the woods. I can't be done.
I'm glad I don't work now anymore at the plastic factory at Melton, because there are a couple of Forest fans there, and oh God, life are unbearable.
Yeah, well, Kiefer says he works in Nottingham. We need to win. I won't be going to work Tuesday morning. It's amazing how many Forest fans have come out of the woodwork in the last few months as they've done okay. But listen, they are not good, Dave, are they? They are poor at the moment.
No, we're not very good, are we?
I'm trying to be positive. If you wanted any team to play at the moment, it would be Forest, and at home, wouldn't it?
And their Forest are going, if we wanted to play any team, it would be Leicester and away.
Yeah, Dipak says it's a pretty sad day when people would want us to lose just to get the manager sacked. I don't think anybody does, Dipak. I think we'll all go into the Forest game wanting a Leicester win. No,
of course we do. But the thing is it just a sticking plaster over a major artery cut? You know.
Well, this is part of it. Is if we were to beat Forest, which we all hope we do that, and then because the World Cup this year, none of us know how it's going to affect this season, but it is going to affect it because I think there's 8 Premier League games and 1 League Cup game between now and the World Cup. If we were to go on a nice little run now, Dave, and maybe get 4 or 5 wins out of those 8, we'd be going to that World Cup break in a much, much better place. But if you were to, like you say, even if you were to beat Forest, but then not really do well out of these 8 games, you'd be in a real pickle for the World Cup, wouldn't you?
Oh, definite. And the other thing is you've got players that are going to be out there at the World Cup. They're going to have a hard time. They're going to come back. I mean, Danny Ward, he might be knackered if he went, but he ain't going though, is he? Wales didn't qualify in the end, did they? That's right.
No, Wales have qualified. Wales are there, yeah.
That's what he's still in shock. Then that's why he's all over the place. He's still in shock from that. They're going to have a hard time out there, and then they've got to come back and start hitting the ground running again for Leicester. It's going to be. Whoever thought of this World Cup at this time of year wants shooting.
Well, again, it just shows you, Dave, that money counts. I'm just going to read you through. We've got Forest at home, then we've got Bournemouth away, we've got Palace at home, Leeds at home, Wolves away, Man City away, and then we've got after Man City away, we've got Everton away, and the final league game would be West Ham away. There's points to be had there, though, isn't there, Dave?
Yeah, we'll probably get 3 points to get Man City.
Yeah, away at Man City, you know it as well. We joke. Claudio Ranieri. Now, for me, he is always a legend, and I was very upset when he got sacked. We lost 5 games on the trot. Now, Owen, who we know from BBC Radio Leicester really well, Owen had a chat with people at the club, and the phrase he used was, Brendan Rodgers has done enough with Leicester City that he's got credit in the bank to get him through this tough patch, which I understand that. He's won the FA Cup, 2 top 5 finishes. But Dave, Claudio Ranieri surely had credit in the bank when we lost 5 on the trot and he was sacked, didn't he? I mean, you're saying, in one way, you're saying back, sort of give Rodgers the chance, give him. But
yeah,
Claudio Ranieri won the Premier League and he was like, no, it's going wrong, get rid.
The thing is with Ranieri, when it came, what was your first thoughts when he turned up, Ranieri?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I thought, well, it's an interesting manager. He's been there, seen and done it. So, out of all the managers I've ever seen at Leicester, Dave, he was probably up there. And I was thinking, oh, this is better. This is better than David Pleat, and this is better than Mickey Adams, and
Yeah, I think with Ranieri, I think that season was just a complete one-off. It was the stars all lining up and everything, and that'll never, ever, ever happen again. Rodgers, I want him gone, but I'm just trying to I'm just trying to tap into Top's head and understand his thinking, and that's all I'm just trying to be kind to Top, but I'd have got rid of Rodgers about 3 games ago, to be fair. I'd have blown him out the water and gone.
Dion says here, we're sounding like Arsenal right now, blaming all of this on the manager, which I don't agree. He has a point, because the manager's part of this.
Well, they had a point to Arsenal because they've still got Arteta in charge.
But Dave, the players against Spurs, Wilfred Ndidi is a top quality player in my books, but this season has looked really out of sorts. Got caught mooching around on the ball. To be fair, shouldn't have been passed the ball even there by.
No, he shouldn't. There were no shouts, man on or anything, was there?
No. But players have looked out of sorts, Dave. Everybody's looked out of sorts, and a lack of running around and just effort.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know. Let's face it. All the people in the chat here, all the Leicester fans, would do anything to play for Leicester, wouldn't they? And give 100%. But I'd even have Bobby Smith back at this moment.
I like Bobby Smith. What are you on about? He was a great player. But I think that's what fans can see. Effort. Fans can see passion, effort. And that's why a lot of fans' favourite players are not necessarily the world's greatest players, because you see it out there and you see I think he is bothered. I actually think Maddison looks quite bothered at the moment by
I think, do you know what? I normally slate Maddison because I think he's talent and he doesn't put it in. But this, I would make him club captain at the moment. I think he's absolutely trying, and I think it's hurting him. And he's really getting stuck in. And do you know what I mean? I mean, me and my mate Mark, we went to the Southampton game, and he was standing up and he was like getting in the faces of the opposition. And that's what I want to see from them all. And Maddison really surprised me that he were doing that, because I thought he was like a pretty player, goes down very easy. But Maddison is doing really well for me.
He has, and he has been putting the effort in. And yet it seems like there's other players out there just not quite putting that amount of tracking back in there. And again, I spin that back, Dave, to is it Brendan Rodgers? Somebody putting there sucking the blood out of it. Is he inspiring people? Because I don't see Rodgers up and down the touchline showing that massive passion either.
No, and I don't.
You see, if I was Rodgers or talking to Brendan Rodgers, I'd say, look, whether you feel it or not, this is an entertainment sport, and there's 32,000 people in the ground. There's lots of people watching. If you're going to have to, this game, get a bit more animated on the touchline, because if you do that, even if you don't want to do it or don't believe it, it's going to get the crowd. It wouldn't hurt him to turn around to the crowd at certain times to be, come on, let's get go. And that doesn't necessarily have to be natural. But if somebody you were working for, Dave, said, "Come on, you're going to have to show them that you want it."
I don't think the crowd would believe him if he did it. If he turned around to the main stand and went, "Come on," I don't think the crowd would believe. Well, there's another question then, crowd. If he turned around and went, "Come on," would you believe him?
It's a great question, Dave. So Dave's asked, if Rodgers showed more passion on the sideline, turned round at 0-0 or 1-0 and was like, "Come on, let's get it going," and started giving it a bit of like Conte does for Spurs, would you take it? Would you believe it? I think it'd get people going. Dave's to be convinced, so we want to know what you think.
All Rodgers does, he does that silly pointing when they score and that clapping and then a bit of a spit, and that's it. That's all he does.
And his little notepad. What is he writing in that notepad?
He's already trying into the night.
He's in there like, chop suey, special fried rice. It's either that or it's like, I wish I'd employed that set piece tactics coach earlier. Rodgers. Paul says Rodgers lacks interest. Andy says Rodgers shows no emotion. Why make Albright? Yeah, another great question.
Yeah,
we're talking about. Listen, we talked about Maddison. I love Mark Albrighton. I would actually. We needed a winger against Spurs, and we put Maddison there. I'd have just put Albrighton there because we've given him an extension on his contract. We've made him vice captain. Why not make Maddison vice captain? Because he's going to play. Why? Much as I love Mark Albrighton, Dave, what's your take on that? It's another head scratcher, isn't it?
Even if he just puts him on for the last 20, 25 minutes, Albrighton will just run his heart out for you, won't he? He'll give everything. And it's just, he just doesn't do it. He's playing players out of position. I don't know what this tactical coach is going to make when he walks in. Because he's going to be saying, "Well, what are you playing him there for when he plays it there?" And are you mad? Are you crazy? Are you trying to get sacked?
He'll go, shh, don't tell anybody. Don't forget this guy's set pieces, Dave, not tactics. Rodgers is paid £10 million a year to do something. I think tactics is one of them. For me, next Monday, Rodgers needs to. I'd like to see something in the team sheet where I go a bit like, oh, he has realised that the poop's about to hit the fan. He knows he's got to do something, or does that show panic, Dave?
I don't know what it shows, to be fair. I think it just shows he's clueless. The other team that King Power own in Belgium, I can't say the name, so I won't even try. They've had 9 free transfers to strengthen the squad. They've only spent £900,000. We haven't really done anything. I'm sure we could have had a couple of free transfers, people on loan. We had Tillemans on loan, didn't we, to try it out, and look what we got from him. So... Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know.
I saw Diego Costa go to Wolves. I wouldn't have minded him. I know he's a bit. He's at
I wouldn't
32,
minded him.
33.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded him. There's got to be players out there who are in the 30s who can come in and do a job, give them 1 year, pay them a small fortune, and do it. But I don't know. Anyway, like I say, Top's the man with the money. He knows what they've got. He knows what they haven't got. It's up to him, isn't it? When all's said and done, we can, like I said, we can all sit here and talk about it. But he's the man at the end of the day. I just hope he's not going to be like a rabbit in the headlights. I think his dad made the decisions. His dad was this is it. This is what we're doing. This is it. And I think Top's like thinking, oh, shit, what am I going to do here?
Yes, it does make you wonder that. It does make you wonder. There's been so many decisions over the last 6 to 9 months that you feel are a bit head-scratchy and a bit strange, that you do wonder what is... And again, it sort of ties in with the move to Seagrave. I wonder if some of the club is literally at the Seagrave training ground. I mean, physically, obviously, all the training and the playing stuff is. I wonder if some of the operational stuff is still done at King Power Stadium, and it's got disjointed, Dave. And I'm making that up, but sometimes when when a business expands, or you move teams apart, it can get a little bit disjointed.
Yeah, I mean, when all's said and done, they're on like 75, 130,000, 120,000 pound a week. You go where you go, and that's it, isn't it? You don't do that with the army. You don't say, right, well, you're here this week, but there next week. Can you do a better job while you're over there, but a shit job while you're there? I don't know.
It's strange.
I honestly think if we don't win on Monday, I think we're going to be really a club in crisis, and that'll be it.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Listen, just before I let you go, are you going to watch the England match tonight?
I'm not a fan of where the World Cup's being held. I think it's totally wrong. It should never be there. And all the virtue signaling of rainbow armbands and all that, when they've got what they've got out there, and the way they've used men to build the place, I don't particularly want anything to do with it. I'll probably watch it, and Southgate's a waste of time anyway. So,
yeah, Southgate, a little bit like watching Brendan Rodgers at the moment, stuck in his ways, sticks to the same plan.
Nice little suit.
And plays square pegs in round holes and all that sort of stuff, and doesn't play the people who are in form necessarily, or give people a chance. Dave, listen, just before we let you go, give a shout out to all your YouTube channels. Tell everybody where they can follow you. I'm sure they all know, but give us a shout
just
out.
Follow me on Blue Van Man on YouTube. I've started doing podcasts and stuff now as well, and I talk a load of rubbish, but it seems to entertain people. So, yeah, if you want to come and follow me. If you don't, it's all good.
Honestly, go and follow Dave. He's highly entertaining. Blue Van Man on YouTube and all social. So, listen, mate, it's been great speaking with you. Let's hope we're still smiling at this time next week, eh?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me on, mate. I like it.
Cheers, pal. Thanks a lot. I'm going to let Dave go. Thank you to Dave. Great to have Blue Van Man on. Make sure you go and follow him. Absolutely worth watching all his videos. They are really funny. Mark says, good old Blue Van Man, top bloke indeed there. LCFC Gray says he's just subbed to Dave. That's what he wants to hear. Go and follow him. I loved your tour of Colville, says Jonathan Collins. That's to Dave, Blue Van Man. Keep getting your comments in. Let us know what your views are. This week, we've got away fan shows. We've got match previews. We've got loads coming up because genuinely, we're all looking forward to playing Nottingham Forest for the first time in a long... It's been 20 years since any East Midlands derby at the King Power Stadium. 2002, that was Derby County. I don't even know when the last time we played Forest competitively was, but it's going to be a big game on so many fronts. Rodgers is going to be there. You'll be there. I'll be there. Let's just hope the players and the managers realise that this means something to us. This match means a hell of a lot to Leicester City fans. We're in a mess. This is the time we have to back them. If you go to the game, you've got to back the lads. You've got to cheer your heart out. You've got to make some noise next Monday. We'll be doing rallying cries before that, I'm sure. But you've got to give them the chance to do it. And then if they let us down in the 90 minutes, yeah, let them know at the end. But you've got to, during the game, we've got to give them everything we've got. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see you there next Monday. Don't forget, follow Leicester Fan TV. And thanks, as ever, to everybody. Just before I go, if you're still watching, would love to let you down to watch the darts. Here's a little clip of it.
A thrill, a minute rise, guaranteed. What an experience. A world champion against a world champion. Sensational darts! Oh, magnificent from Van Gerwen. Tungsten testosterone.
Oh, come on! You're loving this!
And it is! Go, 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 Johnny!
Yeah, indeed, that's the darts down at the Morningside Arena. That's guaranteed entertainment and plenty of beer. So make sure you pick up your tickets from there. Go to morningsidearena.com and get those. Don't forget, follow us at Leicester Fan TV. Go and follow Blue Van Man. Enjoy the week. Have a good week. And we'll see you in all the other live videos this week. Cheers from me.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, ADT Taxis, Everards, Pucka Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Leicester Riders, Hologram, The Fox's Arms, Peter's Pizzeria, Hope Against Cancer, and Newbie & Co. Estate Agents. Make sure to follow us on all of our social channels at Leicester Fan TV. Visit our website, leicesterfantv.com.